I'll call the Newport Beach City Council to order for the regular meeting, December 9th, 2008. We have the roll call, please.
The record will reflect that all members of council are present.
Okay, is there a closed session report from the city attorney?
No actions to report.
Okay, would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilman Curry, followed by the invocation by Rabbi Marc Rubenstein from Temple Isaiah.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
O God, on this evening in December, we thank Thee for the precious gift of life. May the marvelous sense which Thou hast endowed us ever be directed toward good purpose and noble objective during this holiday season. Help us to train our eyes to behold the virtue in others and to close our ears to tale-bearing and gossip. O Lord, teach us to realize our inadequacies and inspire us to utilize our talents for the improvement of the lot of our fellow community and the people in which we live with. Grant us strength of body and health of mind. Enable us to face the challenges of living with faith and courage, not only during the holidays, but all during the year. In moments of doubt, strengthen us with our convictions. In hours of gloom, illumine our path. In adversity and frustration, gird us with patience. Above all, O Lord, imbue us with the wisdom to count our blessings in the wonderful country we live in. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. First item on our agenda is presentations. The first presentation is a proclamation in support of a day without a bag. This is a proclamation of the city of Newport Beach, whereas each year approximately 6 billion plastic carry-out bags are used in Orange County, and in the United States less than 5% of the bags are recycled, and the indiscriminate littering of plastic bags is an increasing blight problem. Plastic bags create significant litter problems for Newport Beach's streets, beaches, and the marine environment, and marine animals and countless fish die annually through ingestion of and entanglement in marine debris, including plastic bags. And each year, the state of California spends approximately $25 million to landfill discarded plastic bags. And the city of Newport Beach has set a solid waste reduction and recycling goals and is considering joining other municipalities and taking action against the unchecked proliferation of plastic bags. And whereas paper bags, while biodegradable, contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, and water pollution from the production process, and reusable bags contribute towards environmentally sustainable bags over single use of plastic and paper single-use bags. And whereas Heal the Bay and its community partners are urging shoppers to forego single-use plastic and paper bags in favor of reusable tote bags to recognize a day without a bag. So now, therefore, I, Edward Selich, Mayor of the City of Newport Beach, on behalf of the entire Newport Beach City Council, do hereby proclaim December 18th as a day without a bag in the City of Newport Beach, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Newport Beach to be affixed this 9th day of December 2008, Edward Selich, Mayor. Is there someone here to receive this?
My name's Stephanie Barger. I'm Executive Director of Earth Resource Foundation, but more importantly, a resident of Corona Del Mar. And I'm just so proud of Newport Beach. You guys have really stepped up to the plate over and over again for our environment and for the future. So you were the first city to issue a proclamation, but Irvine, San Clemente, San Juan Capistrano, La Palma, Westminster, and several others have already stepped up to the plate. Also, our businesses are participating. Ralph's and Albertsons, the 99-cent store, Bed Bath & Beyond, and many others. So this is all of us coming together to help reduce the amount of plastic pollution and get back to reduce, reusing, and recycling. So I really appreciate it, and I hope everybody on December 18th will say no to disposable bags from that day forward, and we'll all save a lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have reusable bags if you guys would like some, so I'll just leave these for the staff and council.
Okay, thank you. Okay, our next presentation is a presentation by the Local Agency Formation Commission, and I think Joyce Crosswaith is going to do that.
Good evening, Council. I'm Joyce Crosshead, Executive Officer of Orange County LAFCO, and we asked to come before you tonight. We're doing this with all the cities and special districts in the county. We do this periodically just to give you an update on LAFCO. I'm going to be very brief tonight. I know you have a busy agenda. I have three purposes to coming here tonight. First of all was to put a face to the name, and I also have with me Bob Aldridge, who's the Assistant Executive Officer, and you can give us a call or talk to us. If you have a complaint, you can call Bob. My second purpose here is to explain our service review process. As you know, in 2000 we had a requirement put on us by the state to conduct service reviews, and we have to do these every 5 years. We're into our second cycle, which goes from 2008 to 2013. I'm sorry, 2008 to 2013. And the Commission's continually looking for ways to make this more efficient. So we did in November, what we did was those cities and special districts that had no issues with their spheres, we reaffirmed them and reaffirmed their service reviews. So we're clear until 2013. And that included the city of Newport Beach. We just reaffirmed your sphere. The second step the Commission wants us to do is we're going to start a new service review process. So in 2013, we can do the same thing, just reaffirm the spheres and then move on. To implement that, the Commission in the spring of this year is going to have a regional summit with the Commission and other elected officials from cities and special districts. And at that summit, what we want to do is highlight the best practices of the agencies, because this is one of the issues that came out of the service reviews, is that a lot of agencies said, well, I didn't know you could do that, and we want to highlight those, and we'll have this summit to kick that off, and we hope that the city will send a representative and bring some examples of what you consider your city's innovative and creative means of addressing problems. And my last purpose in coming here tonight is to say that we have worked with your staff and will continue to work with your staff to ensure the smooth annexation of the two islands that remain in your sphere, Banning Ranch and the Emerson Island, which is a very small island. And with that, I'm going to conclude and just say staff is always available to answer questions. We're happy to come back if you want a longer study session, and we also can meet individually with the City Council and staff if you so wish. And I can answer any questions, or you can give me a call. I think your city manager has and I'll be giving your city manager the dates and times of the meeting. So.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that takes care of presentations for this evening. The next item on the agenda is the City Council reorganization. The first item under that is the certification of the general municipal election results, and the recommended action is to adopt resolution number 2008-100. I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved. Second.
Okay, does anyone from the public want to comment on this? Okay, seeing no one, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next part of this is the city clerk will administer the oath of office, and the three re-elected city council members, I should say. I guess we should go down there to have our oath taken.
Yes, please. If you can raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Keith Correa,
do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations.
Okay, the next section of this part of the agenda is the election of the mayor, and at this point, I will turn the city council meeting over to the city clerk.
Thank you, Councilmember Selich. This is the time for the election of the mayor. All members of the city council are on an equal basis to nominate and elect. For clarification purposes, nominations do not require a second. They are debatable, cannot be amended or reconsidered, and a majority vote is required to elect. The motion to close nominations does require a second. It is not debatable or reconsiderable and requires a two-thirds vote. If there is more than one nomination, the vote will be done by paper ballot and the results read at the conclusion of the balloting. If there is only one nomination, the voting will be done using the electronic voting equipment. Nominations are now open. Do I hear any nominations?
I nominate Ed Selich.
I move the nominations be closed.
Okay, there is a motion to close the nominations. Nominations are now closed for the office of the mayor. Please vote. Congratulations, Mayor Selich. You're the mayor for 2008-2009.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now move on to the election of the mayor pro tem. Nominations are open for mayor pro tem.
Mr. Mayor, I propose nominating Councilman Keith Curry for Mayor Pro Tem.
Oops, sorry, second.
Okay, any other nominations or motion to close nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
Okay, the motion has been made to close the nominations. Nominations are closed. Please vote for mayor pro tem.
Congratulations, Councilmember Keith Curry. You are now the new mayor pro tem.
Okay, now we get to do our annual dance where we get to move our seats around based on seniority, so go to it.
Okay, I'm the most senior, and I like to have the mayor at the right hand of Don.
All right, Don.
I'm willing to sell my seat to anyone that wants to operate the lights here for the news.
I guess Steve is the next.
I guess I'm next most senior, and if I can't move here or there, I'll stay right where I'm at.
Okay.
Leslie's next.
Leslie. There's always a surprise, Nancy.
It's now between Mike and Nancy.
Okay, I don't know.
Nancy, my offer's still open. You can do the lights if you want.
That's too much responsibility.
Okay. It did take me a year to learn my job. So.
You're still low man now.
Okay, we all settled? Okay, very good. Okay, the next section is the meeting this evening is a chance for the newly elected council to make remarks, starting with the mayor. And I would also invite any other member of the council that would want to make some remarks after the newly elected council members have done so to feel free to jump in here. First of all, I did run unopposed this year, and I would like to thank the residents of the city of Newport Beach for showing their faith in me. I was happy that I did not have an opponent. I hope it shows that people in my district feel that I'm doing a good job and serving them well. I certainly have worked hard at it. I didn't take that running unopposed for granted and participated in all of the council debates and forums during the election season to set my views out and make my positions known to the community, even though I didn't have an opponent during the election. I'd also like to thank my fellow members of the City Council for the faith and confidence you've shown in me in electing me to another term as mayor. I accept that with humility and will do my best in the coming year to do as good a job as I feel as I did in the past year and help move the collective agenda of our City Council forward. I also want to thank my family. I have some members of my family here this evening. First of all, I'd like to introduce a person that I didn't know how to introduce last year. I called her my girlfriend and best friend, which really didn't seem quite adequate, but I didn't want to be presumptuous and call her anything else. But tonight I can call her my fiancée, as over Thanksgiving she agreed to marry me, Lynn Hackman. My daughter, Allie. Allie, raise your hand. And also my other daughter, Adrian. Adrian, raise your hand. I'm also proud to announce that Adrian is pregnant with my first grandchild. I don't feel old enough to be a grandfather, but I guess I am. So be very exciting for us. Her husband, Gabe, my son-in-law. And then next to Lynn is my brother, Dennis. Dennis, thanks for coming tonight. So it's going to be a busy year for me, being mayor, getting married, having a grandchild. Got a lot on my plate this year. Very exciting also. I'd just like to do just a brief review of some of the highlights and accomplishments that I think that we've done over the past year on this City Council. We've made great strides in getting the OASIS project on the road. We're just about ready to go out to bid for that project. We designed it in a short period of time, brought all segments of the community together in doing the design of that building, and it'll be something that we'll all be proud of in the future. City Hall, we moved very well on that project over the year. We actually selected the architect 2 weeks ahead of our schedule, and we met all of our objectives in that program. Our traffic signal synchronization program is well underway, not moving quite as fast as we would like, but we are making significant progress on that towards the day when we have a system of synchronized signals in this city. Bay dredging, we took the first steps towards getting a comprehensive program to dredge the lower bay, which we'll be following up on in the future. We made significant steps and strides in John Wayne Airport. We entered into a joint powers agreement with Costa Mesa. I think we learned through the El Toro experience that we can't solve the John Wayne problem on our own, that we need the cooperation and input of other cities. Costa Mesa is certainly going to be a strong partner in our efforts in the future on John Wayne Airport. We made significant accomplishments in dealing with the group homes issues in Newport Beach. We adopted an ordinance, started hearing procedures, have entered into some settlement agreements, and we have really moved the ball on that issue, and again, looking forward to doing more in the future on it. Marina Park, we have come up with the concept plan on Marina Park a few years ago. That was an issue that was heavily debated, and now we have a concept plan that virtually everyone agrees to, and have come up with an excellent design there. The benchmarking process, where we're trying to come up with a way to have a degree of more accountability in our departments to improve the service we provide our residents. We're in the middle of that program, and again have made significant strides there. And all of these things were items that we had decided upon early on last year at a goal-setting session, and the city manager has presented us reports every council meeting with how we're doing on these priorities. And if you look back through the past 12 months, we have made significant strides in meeting those priorities. Now, what are we going to look at in the coming year? Well, the coming year will be starting the construction of OASIS. It won't be done next year. We'll go into the following year most likely, but next year at this time we'll be well under construction, probably midway through the construction of the OASIS Senior Center. The City Hall, we hope to have the concept plans refined to the point that we'll be able to enter into construction documents in the fall of next year, so that we will be well on our way to getting our new City Hall constructed. I hope that we will be able to come up with some type of a comprehensive plan in the next 12 months so we can deal with the dredging of our bay. The Marina Park Environmental Impact Report should be complete about this time next year, and an application submitted to the Coastal Commission to move that project ahead. We'll continue our efforts on the John Wayne Airport and working with our fellow corridor cities to make sure that we keep the John Wayne Airport issue always at the forefront of the things that we as the City Council do. Now, we all know that the economy is in somewhat of a crisis at the present time. It's critical. Our city finances are strong, but we have to be vigilant. Our revenue projections are most likely going to meet what we've projected for this year, but it's really the 2009-2010 budget year where we'll have to really take a real hard look at the revenue projections that we see coming in and how we budget and allocate our resources. So we're okay for the rest of this year, but we really need to start looking very quickly, and I think Councilman Rosansky brought up at a previous meeting that we need to start taking a look at these things as soon as possible. We need to be flexible as we see what happens in the coming year from an economic standpoint and adjust as necessary. So with that, I'm looking forward to a successful year. I really enjoy working with my fellow council members. I think we work well together. We work as a team. We have individual opinions and positions. We put them out. We debate them. We make a decision, and we move on. And I am certainly honored to serve with these city council members and also serve the people of Newport Beach. Thank you. Councilman Curry, or Mayor Pro Tem Curry. I have to get used to calling you that.
First time. Well, first of all, I would like to thank my colleagues for their expression of support in electing me as Mayor Pro Tem. It's an honor to serve with such dedicated and capable people as my colleagues on the City Council. I'd like to congratulate first Mayor Ed Selich on both his reelection as mayor and to the City Council. Ed has served with distinction in both roles, and I'd also like to congratulate him on his engagement to Lynn, certainly Ed's most important accomplishment this year. I congratulate my colleague Steve Rosansky on his victory this year, and being in the foxhole together is truly a bonding experience. Let me begin by thanking the voters for their confidence expressed in me by their support on Election Day, and I'm particularly proud to have run best in my own District 7. I appreciate so much the support and encouragement that I received during the course of the campaign from literally hundreds of residents as Pam and I went door to door in every part of the city. To the many friends and neighbors who walked precincts, put up signs, provided endorsements, made contributions, and showed up at the debates, my heart is full with thanks for all of you, and I will never forget what you did over the last several months. Thank you so much. I'd like to particularly thank my wife Pamela and daughter Julia, who were my strongest supporters throughout my campaign. Julie's getting married next year, and Pam says with the election out of the way, we can move on to someone else's drama in our family. This was a different campaign from those in the past, and frankly, it was a difficult campaign. But with the election over, it's time for all of us to come together and put our city first and seek a common vision of our future as a community. a vision that will preserve the best of Newport's heritage while ensuring we maintain the strong economic underpinnings that have made our community unique in California. There's no monopoly on good ideas, and we as a council are committed to engaging in a positive dialogue with all to ensure that our community stays on the right track. During the campaign, we talked about creating public value, the sum of the decisions that make Newport unique from other communities. In the past 3 years, we've accomplished much together. You've heard Ed talk about some of it. The Newport Coast Community Center, the 1-1 Marines Memorial, the Back Bay Science Center, the Santa Ana Heights Fire Station, the Crane Library, the Mariners Park redevelopment, our group home ordinance, and the new general plan. And in the year ahead, we will rebuild OASIS, we will unite around a new city hall, and we'll open new parks in Newport Coast, West Newport, Santa Ana Heights, the Peninsula, and Corona del Mar. We will synchronize our traffic signals, we'll introduce performance benchmarking for our city services, and broaden our tax base to ensure we can continue to offer the highest quality of municipal services available in California. From the quick and effective response to the fire in Bonita Canyon, to the busting of an international fraud ring, to the awards received by our finance and planning staffs, we are reminded constantly of the high quality of services provided by the city staff that we enjoy here in Newport Beach. As your councilman, it is my honor and privilege to work with these distinguished colleagues on behalf of all the citizens of our community to ensure that these high-quality services continue. I'm humbled by your support, and I look forward to the tasks ahead. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman? Excuse me.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you can go.
No, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I didn't prepare any lofty comments. I hadn't even thought about it. So I'll just say it's good to be back. I look forward to the next 4 years. I thank my wife and my son for my family support, and the residents that helped me out getting reelected for the next 4 years. I thank them. I hope to personally thank each of them. For those who didn't vote for me, I certainly hope to change your expectations. And although I am termed out and I don't get another shot at it, I do intend to fully represent all the residents of this great city. Thank you.
Okay, I'll now open it up to any comments from any of the council members. Councilwoman Daigle?
Sure. Good evening, and thanks for being here. I'm proud to be an elected official in this community, and proud of what this city has meant to me, and proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I've been fortunate enough to have been able to have served and to continue to serve you. In doing the people's business, I have felt the elation of accomplishing for the common good what was thought to be impossible, like preserving the further intrusion of John Wayne Airport into our community by preserving the open space at Newport Beach Golf Course and establishing these important, significant steps for the furtherance of our bay dredging. And that satisfaction far exceeds the sting and weariness of any battle against my critics. The courage to persevere for the best interests of this city is only a reflection of my constituents, however. And in that perseverance, I've always striven to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Believing in this community has meant accepting my responsibility to do my part to change it for the better. In doing so, I hope that I have made Newport Beach better in some way for all of you. I look forward to continuing to work for this great community and for the year ahead. Thank you.
Okay, any other council comments? Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Notice to the public, the city provides a yellow sign-in card to assist in the preparation of the minutes. The completion of the card is not required in order to address the council. Speakers must limit comments to 5 minutes on agenda items. The council has a discretion to extend or shorten the time limit on agenda or non-agenda items. As a courtesy, please turn cell phones and pagers off or set them in the silent mode. Now is the time for city council announcements or matters which council members would like placed on a future agenda for discussion, action, or report.
Councilwoman Daigle?
None.
Councilwoman Gardner?
Nothing?
Councilman Webb?
Just a short one. I was Pleased to be the chairman of the City Attorney Selection Committee, and with Leslie Daigle and Steve Rosansky. We established a schedule, we met it, and tonight we'll be approving that contract, and Mike Henn, who helped negotiate the contract for that, will be making the announcement when that item comes up before us. So I just want to thank the committee members for helping out and point out that we met the schedule we established last July, because tonight we're approving the contract per schedule.
Very good. Councilman Henn.
I do have one announcement. This may come under the category of fools rush in where angels fear to tread, but I am going to host a public outreach meeting tomorrow night here in the council chambers at 6 p.m. to discuss boardwalk safety. And we have invited all of the residents along the oceanfront boardwalk as well as the bay, and the business owners down in Balboa Village and elsewhere on the peninsula. And the purpose of the meeting tomorrow night is to gather public input and ideas for ways in which we might improve the safety on our boardwalk. And so I understand that this is an issue that comes up about once every 5 or 10 years, and so it's my turn, and I'm glad to do that, actually, because I do think we can make things better for the residents, and I look forward to that process. That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. right here.
Yeah. Councilman Rosansky.
Yes, two things. One, I'd like for the city manager to agendize an item for our first meeting in January for a discussion on the funding of the OASIS Senior Center. That project, as we just discussed, and the mayor's speech is about to get underway, but we haven't had a public discussion as to exactly how that facility is going to be paid for. You know, whether we're going to use our own existing funds and reserve accounts, or we're going to be going out to the public or the bond market to finance portions of it. So I'd like some type of a discussion as to exactly how we plan on doing that. And just the second item, another thing that the mayor brought up, I would like to see some report at least sometime in January, hopefully the first meeting, as to how we intend to approach as a city the economic crisis that not only our city, county, and state, but our federal government face. You know, we are fortunate here. We do have strong revenues, but, you know, we can't wait until, I don't even think we can wait until July 1st in our next budget year. We need to start thinking about that right now. So I'd like to see some type of a discussion or presentation of proposals by the staff as to how we intend to address this pressing issue. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Curry.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Parks and Recreation staff for the snow brought into Bonita Creek Park and for the good time that looked like to be had by all that was reported in the newspaper. That's always a fun event. And also to congratulate the Corona Del Mar Chamber of Commerce for another successful Christmas walk. It was a great event and a lot of festive activity throughout Coast Highway. I think people really appreciated the effort that went into that event. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just have one brief announcement. I'd like to make an announcement on Operation Christmas. The city clerk's office will be accepting new and unwrapped toys for children of our military, new or used DVDs for the troops, and gift cards and cash donations for the families through Operation Christmas until December 19th. So help bring happy holidays to California's military and their families. Let's show them how much Newport Beach appreciates them. And is there going to be a box to drop things off in the clerk's office? So you can drop them off in a box. I guess it's in the lobby of City Hall, isn't it? Just
and
in the office.
If someone wants to make a donation, do they make it out to the city of Newport Beach or to whom?
Yellow Ribbon America.
Okay, so any donations would be made to Yellow Ribbon America. Madam Clerk.
Consent calendar. All items listed under consent calendar, items 1 through 14, are considered by the council to be routine and will all be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. The city council members have received detailed staff reports on each of the items recommending an action. There will be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time the council votes on the motion unless members of the council, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Members of the public who wish to discuss a consent calendar item should come forward to the lectern upon invitation by the mayor, state their name and item number. If the optional sign-in card has been completed, it should be placed in the box provided at the podium.
Okay, Councilman Henn.
I have nothing.
Councilman Rosansky?
I don't have anything, but I see they're sitting out with a check out there for item number 14. Are we going to pull that so they can present that? Or? I'll pull item 14 so we can have a presentation of the check.
Okay.
As our new library director is shaking her head. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Curry?
No items to pull, but I would note that on this agenda, on item 6, we are extending the contract for Tom Edwards to continue his leadership on airport issues. Tom has been a tremendously valuable resource to the city in our efforts to monitor and to contain John Wayne Airport, and I think that's great money well spent.
Okay. Councilwoman Daigle?
None, thank you.
Councilwoman Gardner?
5.
I have none.
Okay. And I have none. Does staff have any to pull?
Nothing.
Okay. Anybody from the public wish to pull an item?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Item number 5 and number 9, please. Thank you. My name's Dolores Auding. And by the way, you were supposed to take public comment after each item of voting for the mayor and the mayor pro tem. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Dick Nichols, Corona Del Mar. I'd like to pull item 13 and S16. I don't know whether you consider that part of the...
That's not the consent calendar.
Isn't it?
No, it'll be an open item.
So it will be an item at that time?
Yes.
Are you, just a question, are you going to swear him in tonight?
No, but the item will be discussed openly, Dick, so.
Okay,
We'll be
well,
able to
that's
comment
fine.
on-
That was my question, is I would like to, and I have a comment on Mr. Danner. I am very pleased to see that he's going to be back with us and able to serve in his retirement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there a motion on the consent calendar?
I would move the adoption of the consent calendar, items 1 through 14, with the exception of items 5, 9, 13, and 14.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, first item pulled was item number 5. It's the OASIS Older Adult Social and Information Services Senior Center, a determination of exemption from zoning and development regulations. Councilwoman Gardner.
Yes, on the mitigated negative declaration, this is a small thing, but we have been utilizing this practice in other projects, which is that construction trucks don't have a 5-minute idling. They have no idling. They just turn their trucks off. We use that with the China Cove project and everything, and it makes a big difference in the neighborhood because we're right up against residents. So I would like to see that change made.
We can do that with the contractor.
Okay.
Okay, does anyone from the public want to comment on item number 5?
You should have taken 14. Hi, I'm Dolores Auding. I live in Newport Beach. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Item number 5 is the OASIS project, and I have some questions. And so anyway, on page number 6, handwritten page number 6, it says that the facility is going, and by the way, I'm not against the OASIS senior project. I'm a senior citizen myself, and I'm happy that it's going to be built. Okay, with that said, staff is requesting the City Council find that this project is exempt from zoning and development regulations of the code. If somebody could please explain what development regulations are, okay? And then this is the part that I found most troubling, is the next paragraph. It says that the design of the proposed project is consistent with the directive of the City Council and the Building Ad Hoc Committee. The next sentence says, most recently, the City Council reviewed the project at the October 28th study session when the final plans were presented and approved. You don't vote on anything during the study session. So I don't know how you approved the project. You didn't approve the project. The project has never come before the public for voter approval by you. So I don't really know how you can go forward with this tonight. And it wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't go forward with this tonight. The second item on this is the fact that in all the years that I've been coming before the City Council, one of the things that always happens with mitigated negative decks is there normally is a public hearing. Now, this is one of the first times, if I don't know how often, maybe somebody, that's another question I have, is how many times in the past has this happened where a mitigated negative deck is not is on the consent calendar? And this is a project that everybody wants and we all love, but in the meantime, there are other concerns besides the idling of the truck that I'm not going to get into on the document itself. So, and I'm sure everything will be taken care of, and there are enough people that live in the area that will make sure of that. But I don't ever remember this happening, and this is one of those transparency issues. And so I would like to know how many times before this has happened. Another question I have, and thank you, Mr. Rosansky, Councilmember Rosansky, for bringing this up, but I watched the study session this afternoon, and I saw Homer's comments, and I also went back to October 26th and watched that one again. I saw it when it was on, and I saw it again, just to make sure that what I was remembering was accurate. And you're going forward with this, and I understand that we're on schedule and on budget, but honestly, we don't have a budget yet. There hasn't been a budget approved by anybody, including you. And secondly, Homer brought up a very good point, our city manager, in regards to the stimulus package coming out of Washington, D.C. And is it really in the best interest of you and the residents to go forward with this at this time? Or if you wait another 60 days, is there some way that we could get money for this through a stimulus package? And I think those questions need to be answered to the public. What kind of money? What would it be? I mean, how do we get that money? Can we qualify for the money? Also discussed is that we have $23 million in reserves, but I don't think that we thought that we were going to spend $23 million on this project. And again, it was never the intent to spend our reserves on this project. It's a perfect example of public-private partnerships. And I heard again today the word bonds, but we're not going out for bonds. We're going out for certificates of participation. And I would like to know, another question is, how many people are lending money nowadays? I mean, the banks are getting billions, but nobody's lending anything out. And so I wanted to know the status of that, and I think that's it. So I would honestly hope that you would postpone this and put it on an evening agenda where you actually could vote on this item, where the public could see it. And by the way, that video wasn't even up for most of this time. They had a problem with that video. There are no minutes. There's no agenda. So there's a lot of hiccups with this project that are just technical difficulties. But if this is going to be the beginning of a new term for you guys, this isn't the best way to start. So I really appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate you all being up there. Congratulations on everything. This is not the road to travel tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else on this item?
I, too, have some concerns here. It's 120 pages, your negative deck here, that you're looking at. That's a pretty good-sized negative deck. You talk about view planes. We talk about the approach of the project to the streets. It's much closer to both Fifth Avenue and Marguerite. The place for the plots are pretty well squished in there, and they're going to be right up there in the corner, which is right on Marguerite. Is that going to work out okay? One of the big things that the seniors have enjoyed all these years are the garden plots. I think it looks like a wonderful project, but it would be wonderful to review this in great detail, maybe even take half of a session or something, at least an hour, and go through this and what's going to be there and what's not going to be there, and all the little whistles and so forth, because this is truly a big project for the community. It's also an intrusion into the community in some ways, in that it greatly brings this project into the residential on several sides of it, and also in view as well. So I would like to see it considered, and I also would like to see it come back. I think this is the first vote on it that's legal, and it's certainly appropriate for a good discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close discussion.
Move the action.
Second.
Okay, does staff, do you want to address any of the concerns brought up?
Well, there were a lot of concerns expressed. I just wrote down a few notes. Tonight, the City Council is not approving the project. Tonight, the City Council is not dealing with the funding. That will be on our next agenda. What you are being asked to do is exempt the project from city zoning and development regulations, and the city attorney can discuss that, and also adopt the mitigated negative declaration that has been proposed. This is a lengthy process to even get to this point tonight. There have been involvements of a lot of residents who regularly attend OASIS. There's been involvement and input by neighboring residents. This process probably started about 2.5 years ago. There have been numerous study session meetings where, as the concept was being developed, that was shown to the City Council, and while no decisions were made, there were discussions that took place and direction given as to how to proceed. So when the item is put out to bid and that bid recommendation comes back from the City Council, that will be, the time for you to give final decision as to whether you want to move forward with the funding options that had been presented. I know there were a number of other issues raised on planning issues, so I'll turn that over to both the city attorney and Sharon.
I'll address the questions or issues that were raised regarding the environmental document. I'm not sure about the reference about the project being approved, but at some point in time, the council needed to approve and did approve the project description for this project based upon the plans that were provided at a study session. But that doesn't mean that there was a project approval at the study session meeting. It was just direction to go through with the project description to prepare the environmental document. The environmental document was processed according to CEQA. There was a circulation period. A lot of people think that environmental documents need a public hearing. They only need a public hearing if the underlying approval requires a public hearing. This underlying approval is just to exempt ourselves from the zoning requirements. It doesn't require a public hearing for the council to make that determination. But it is considered, and public comments are authorized on this particular hearing, on this particular item. And so in that respect, I think that CEQA was followed for this mitigated negative deck. The approval of this basically is for the council to say that we reviewed the mitigated negative declaration based upon this project description, and we find that it has met the requirements of CEQA, and it's an appropriate disclosure document for us. Once that finding is made, then this environmental document can be relied upon when the project comes forward to you for approval for the contract. And at that point in time, if there's any changes in the contract, we may have to look at that. But if the contract for the project and the bids that come in are on the project as described in this project description, then it would be appropriate for you to use the approval of this negative declaration. So there is no, that I can see, inconsistencies with the processes.
Robin, the mitigated negative declaration is required to be circulated for comment. Is that right? And there's a 30-day comment period?
It's 20 days, and the staff report documents that occurred.
And how many comments were received?
It's published, right?
Well, I think one comment was received. Is that right?
The circulation was done. I don't know about the comments.
Yeah, there was one comment letter in it. That was the only one we received, as far as I know.
Mayor, there's one from the Water Board, and it was just a routine response that they send out when you send a notification that you're circulating an environmental document. So we essentially had no one with any comments or concerns.
And how did you advertise that the document was being
It
circulated?
was mailed to everyone within 300 feet. We had newspaper notice. We had on our website. We sent out e-alerts to everybody that signed up to find out what's going on. I mean, we went over and above what state law requires to provide notice for a mitigated negative declaration.
So So somebody that was knowledgeable with the system that would be able to know that the document was in circulation.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. I have one other comment that I wanted to make beside that. But
Okay. Is there any other staff comments? Okay. Okay, Councilman Webb?
I feel that we had the study session and the plans were presented to us, that they were done very well, and the public had plenty of time at that time if they wanted to come down and make comments on those plans. Normally, we do not approve construction plans until we actually award the contract. A number of years ago, we had processes where we actually approved the plans before you went out to bid, but the council asked that it be done where we actually approve the plans the night we award the contract. So from that standpoint, it's a long-standing agreement as far as the construction plans for a public works contract, that's the way it's been done in the past.
Okay, if there's no other comments, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item is item number 9, the Corona Del Mar Street Rehabilitation Project. Mrs. Otting, this was your item.
Hi, my name's Dolores Otting. Happy holidays. Happy New Year, too. Yeah, that's a whole new year. Okay. Anyway, I'm really happy that R.J. Noble got this bid. I think they're one of the best people that do streets, and they do a better job than almost anybody that I've experienced following street construction projects for such a long period of time. And secondly, you have a contingency of $150,000, and I'm hoping that if you don't spend it all, there's a hole on Spyglass Hill Road that's been leaking for years, and we can all laugh about it, and I laugh about it too, but it's like, it used to be the size of a shoebox or the size of this, okay, and the city's been fixing it for years, and now it's the size of a small truck. And something needs to be done, because you can't pave the road, and it's just a mess. And so I'm hoping if you have some extra money, you might put it towards there. I've been told for the past 15 months that something's going to happen. Nothing has happened. It's supposed to happen last spring, supposed to happen this fall, supposed to happen last year, but nothing does happen. And one of these days, you're going to have to repair the street. And secondly, have you guys driven around Fashion Island lately? Because those streets are all a mess. And I've driven on these streets, and these streets are really in good condition, but Fashion Island, I don't know, today was the worst I can remember, maybe because I knew this item was coming up tonight, so I paid more attention as I was leaving the bank and driving around. So anyway, this is, I know you've approved the project and stuff, but I think there are some other areas that need work, too. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else want to comment on this?
Dolores, can we get you to go to Costa Mesa and complain about some of their streets, too? They got some really bad ones.
I don't pay taxes in Costa Mesa.
Dick Nichols, Corona Del Mar. This particular project is something that I asked about a couple months ago, and was told that, you know, if I had a big interest, that I should come down and try and find out what was going on, because there was surveying and so forth being done on the streets in Corona Del Mar. I, too, have gone on those particular streets quite a bit lately, and I didn't notice anything wrong with them. But maybe this is this just something that we do quarter annually or something on that? Because the streets are in pretty darn good shape over there in Corona Del Mar. I'm not speaking about Bayside or the one in the center there, but it does not seem like it's totally justified. The other thing I would bring up, and I think this is the appropriate time, is that that stoplight on Coast Highway that I think is getting some funding out of this isn't working out very well. And the question I have is, how do you expect the trucks from Albertsons to get out and go to the west on Coast Highway? They had, yes, gone down to Marguerite, but a lot of times those really long ones have one hell of a time getting around there. They can't make it in one shot. And this did not seem to be really good news to block off Iris going across Coast Highway there. If there's openings, why can't people go across? And frankly, it's a lot easier to get that truck on the Coast Highway than have to bring it down to Bayside, or maybe take Bayside all the way around to Coast Highway again, or something like that. I mean, that would be another way of getting it, where you wouldn't have these terrible turns.
Are you suggesting that they should go left off of Iris?
I'm saying that one of the ways they did go, and it worked, Nancy, was to go down to Bayside, make the left at Bayside, on to Bayside, go down to Marguerite, and then you could turn on.
Right.
When you do the U-turn with a 53-foot trailer, it doesn't work if parking is right at that corner, which it often is double parked. So you have a situation where that truck can't go around, and he's not supposed to go up Marguerite and then through the other roads to MacArthur. So it's literally an impossibility to get out. And it was discussed, and we talked about it in the traffic phasing things. And again, all this stuff went over. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on this item? Okay, I'll close it, bring it back to council.
I move the action. I would make one comment that I drive Bayside Drive quite regularly. I've also noticed Granville, Dove, and a number of the streets are highlighted from some of my walks in that area, and they need to have some improvements. So I think that you need to get out and walk them rather than drive them.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item is item number 13. It's a request for funding for traffic management center and signal modernization improvements. Who pulled that one? Yeah, Dick, that was your item. Should have just had you stay up there.
I'm sorry. Dick Nichols, Corona Del Mar. I couldn't tell which one I was talking on the last one. So basically, I'm not going to say any more, except that we keep buying more and more materials and to get this traffic phasing going. And we seem to be going backwards, particularly on Coast Highway. I would hate to see us get Coast Highway from the state. That was a terrible thing in Corona Del Mar. It did not work out well. And to have that happen on the rest of the highway, I do not think bodes well for traffic in through our community. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to move this one. It's actually a very important item. It's our traffic management center room with our monitoring equipment as we bring our signal synchronization system online.
Second.
Okay, anyone else want to speak on this one? Seeing no one, bring it back for a vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, last item is pulled as item 14. It's a budget amendment to accept a check from the Friends of the Newport Beach Library. I see a big one out there.
Not the biggest ever, but significant.
$43,050 is pretty significant.
Even though the economy doesn't seem like it's moving along great at the bookstore at the Avocado branch of the library, and we're happy to continue to support you.
Hey, come on. Get up.
And our finances seem to be doing just fine. We're rolling right along.
Does that mean you've sold 43,000 books?
We sell over 1,000 a day. So.
Okay.
Cynthia, get in here.
That just goes to show you, it doesn't make any difference what the economy is doing. When you offer a great value, people will find you.
So we humbly give you this check, and we hope that our library continues to have the great accolades that we continue to get. Cynthia can tell you more about that. I'm not exactly sure what award we just got, but we just got one.
Mayor and Council, the award she's referring to is the rating we received in the Hennon report, the HAPA report. And again, we'll reiterate that in our population category in the state, we were chosen number 1. We far eclipsed several of our arch enemies in the race on the Hennon report. So we're very pleased about that. And we also know that out of all the libraries in the United States our size, we ranked number 20. And there are a lot of them, you know, in the hundreds. So we did very well, in the top 5% in the nation. So we did very well. That's what she's talking about. I'd just like to say thank you to the Friends for this generous donation. We have great plans for it, and we will be happy to spend it wisely. So thank you, Susan.
Okay, next item on the agenda is oral reports from City Council on committee activities. Does anybody have anything they want to report on?
I think we have to vote on that. It's approve a budget amendment.
Oh, we do?
I just called it so she can.
Oh, I got it confused with the presentations. Okay. Anyone want to comment on this? Okay, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, oral reports. Does anyone have an oral report? Councilman Henn?
I do have a quick one for the ad hoc committee on group homes. We have begun our use permit hearings. The first was with Balboa Horizons on December the 4th. There was no decision at that meeting. It was continued to the meeting of December the 10th, which also happens to be the meeting date for Kramer Center. That's right here tomorrow at 4 p.m. And so I'm hoping that we'll see a decision on Balboa Horizons at that meeting, and then we don't know at this juncture what will come forth from the Kramer Center. The Newport Coast hearing was held on December the 8th, yesterday, and that meeting did not result in a decision. That was continued to the first part of January, and so we're very much in the midst of implementing the ordinance that we passed on group homes, and I look forward to an appropriate decision in each of these cases.
Okay, any other reports? Madam Clerk?
Public comments. Public comments are invited on non-agenda items generally considered to be within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. Speakers must limit comments to 3 minutes. Before speaking, please state your name for the record.
Anybody from the public want to address the council?
Hi, my name's Dolores Otting. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and thank you for all that you do and for all the time that you give to our city. It is really appreciated. And tonight is Robin's last night, and I've known Robin for a long time. We used to be young and frolicking in the park, Robin, huh? But Ms. Clausen is going to be leaving us, and it's a sad day and a happy day for her, a sad day for us. And I just want to say thank you, Robin, for everything that you've done for all of us. And I know it hasn't been easy, and but anyway, thank you again very much. Thank you. And another thing is I went to the Pelican Hill Resort and had lunch with some friends recently. And I wasn't going to get up and say anything, but it's kind of like bothered me. I've also had, like a few of my friends, different couples, go up and stay there, and they all say it's very nice. And one of my friends wanted to know where the Christmas tree was. Oh, by the way, when we had lunch, it was pretty cool because we saw former Governor Wilson, Peter Ubroff, Mr. Bren, and the whole 15 suits just walk by and have lunch in the dining room off to the side. So that was pretty interesting. They didn't give us the ocean view, so that was okay. We got to see the people, which was far more fascinating since it was foggy and you couldn't see the ocean anyway that day. But so anyway, one of my friends decided that she'd like to have her family take their Christmas photo there. And so, of course, they asked where the Christmas tree was. And there isn't any Christmas tree. And then come to find out there aren't any Christmas decorations at the Pelican Hill Resort because they were told that they're catering more towards the Middle Eastern and European crowd. And so that kind of bothered me because this is America, and this is where we live, and everyone knows that you come here, you have Christmas. And so over the weekend, I ended up looking up Christmas in Dubai, and you can find all kinds of websites for Christmas in Dubai. You can Christmas in the Middle East, and you can find that too. So I guess why I even bothered to come up here was because maybe the Irvine company will decide that maybe they could put a couple of points that is in the lobby. Don, you could go for lunch every day. I mean, I wore my I wore my necklace and earrings, and the employee said, gee, can you hang out and greet the people?
I'm afraid I couldn't accept that type of donation at the prices they charge.
But anyway, so I just want people to know that normally when you get a new hotel in town or when we travel, at Christmas time, you always like to go and see all the Christmas decorations and what they all look like. So don't go there and think you're going to see any wonderful Christmas decorations, because they're not there. And hopefully they'll change their mind on that, and they'll accommodate the people that live here and the people that will save their lives and the people that will go on 911 calls and the traffic and everything that we do in the city of Newport Beach. They might want to. I don't understand it. It's very confusing. And thank you again for everything. God bless.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Would it be okay if I responded to that?
Sure.
Because all of us went up to the resort. It was just really spectacular. And I think it's very unfortunate that we have the Irvine Company to continue to invest in our community, even in an economic downturn. I mean, gosh, Fashion Island's never looked better. We've got the Bayside marinas being rebuilt, and the resort is just a spectacular addition to our community. So that would be my Christmas message about the Irvine Company.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, seeing none, the next item is the Planning Commission agenda and oral status report. Mr. Lipo.
Mayor, this was an easy one for you. There was only one item on the agenda last week, and it included several applications from Big Canyon Golf Club to cut out a 1.9-acre parcel to create a site for a new single-family home. It passed unanimously. There's a general plan amendment and a text amendment, so that will be coming to you probably the 27th of January.
Okay, any questions, Mr. Lipo? Okay, let's receive and file, so no action on that. Next item is number 16. This is the city attorney employment agreement, and on behalf of the city council, Councilman Henn is going to give a report on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 4 or 5 months ago, we actually had 2 retirements announced in the city, one of which was the city clerk and the other the city attorney. We engaged in a search process to find the very best city clerk that we could find, and we succeeded and named Leilani Brown as city clerk. She already worked for the city, so that was nice. And a proof that the city already has quite a few excellent people working for it and on behalf of the citizens. And then, of course, the other was the retirement of our city attorney, Robin Clausen. I'm very pleased to report that after a very extensive search process, City Council has concluded that they would like to hire David Hunt to be the new city attorney. David is a highly qualified individual. He's currently working with Shepard Mullen, actually right here in Orange County, but prior to that has had extensive experience as a city attorney at Pismo Beach and Morro Bay and other public jurisdictions. He's had very significant experience with the California Coastal Act, the Tidelands, conflict of interest issues, Brown Act, really you name it. He is also very, very well versed in land use issues, and in fact was part of the team that helped the city win a verdict in the IBC litigation against Irvine. So we are very, very pleased to have David here. I want to spend just a minute about the process. I'd like to congratulate Council Member Don Webb for organizing what I think was an excellent process. Our objective was to have a new city attorney on board by year end, by the time Robin retired, and he succeeded, as he mentioned earlier, and so congratulations, Don. The process was an extensive search using a retained search consultant. We had applications not only from the whole state of California, but from several other states, including as far away as Florida, for this job. And the council narrowed down the list of candidates to interview to a short list of 7 highly qualified candidates. It was a happy problem to try and decide who was the best candidate, and we went 2 for 2. I think we hired the very best candidate that was available for us to become our city attorney. The ink is just barely dry on the contract, and so there is a copy of the proposed contract out in the lobby. The compensation associated with that contract was very carefully considered through the analysis of a wide range of municipal jurisdictions and a very careful study of compensation-related matters, both total cash compensation as well as total compensation, including all benefits. And we're very happy that the final outcome here is well within the boundaries of appropriateness after that analysis. And so I'll be happy to recommend that City Council approve the contract that is before it tonight and appoint David Hunt. I'd have to also, in closing, add that this is bittersweet. As Dolores has already mentioned, this is Robin Clausen's last meeting as city attorney for Newport Beach. Robin has spent the past 19 years of her life diligently, strenuously, and to the very best of her ability representing the city of Newport Beach, and has done a great job. And so it's a little bit, it's a little tinged with sadness that we're having this vote tonight on a new city contract, or a new city attorney contract. But nevertheless, Robin, thank you so much for your long and valuable service to the city. And I'm sure we'll get another chance to say this to you, but I only wish you the very best in your future endeavors.
If that's a motion, I second it.
It is a motion.
So moved. I second it.
Okay. Does anyone from the public want to comment on this item? Okay, seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the council. Please vote.
Great.
Motion carries.
Councilman Webb?
Having worked with Robin for her full term with the city, I too would like to pass on my congratulations on the work that you have done. I have spent literally many hours in your office over the years on about as many issues as you could possibly imagine. We never discussed group homes until more recently, but at any rate, I think Robin has always been a person that I felt I could go to and get a good, reasonable answer from, and she has done an absolutely superb job, in my opinion, related to her activities as both assistant city attorney and as city attorney, and I wish you good luck in your retirement. I would not, if you really intend to retire, you might not, you might want to reconsider the ability to run for city council. That's not quite a retirement. So I don't recommend that part of it, but at any rate, thank you very much for all the time that you put in, Robin.
Thank you.
Councilman Gardner?
Well, I think that many of you don't know her very well because all you do is see her at the meetings, and she's opining on a matter of law. But where I have found Robin invaluable is on her other observations. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been walking into a meeting or something, and almost as a casual aside, she'll say, well, you might want to consider, and it will be the perfect way of handling an issue. And it's not a legal position, it's just a good common sense position. And also creative ideas. I still like your idea for Begonia Park. I'm not giving up on that one. So I want to thank you not only for good legal advice, but for all the other great advice you've given.
Okay. Well, you know, Robin, I've worked with you for 13 of those 19 years, second only to Don Webb. But he's worked with everybody longer than any of us, so no one can beat him.
Longer than dirt, I think.
But, But it's been my privilege to know you and work with you over the years on the Planning Commission. I think about 8 years on the Planning Commission, something like that, before you got promoted to city attorney. And I've always appreciated your legal advice, good sound legal advice, and land use matters. The sense of humor you've had on things, and you've really made working on these issues, very enjoyable, and I just wish you only the best in your retirement. And I'd like you to come back to our meeting on the 13th so we can more appropriately recognize you with a nice proclamation. Okay, any other comments?
I'd like to thank the council for meeting the deadline and having the attorney on schedule. And the good news is, and I'd like to congratulate the council, is that the new city attorney is going to actually be available, and he's, for the contract, is willing to come in and work on the 22nd. And so there'll be a very smooth transition, and hopefully that will help him hit the ground running for you in January.
Councilman
You've
Daigle?
got 3.5 days to make sure he gets it right.
Yes, I know.
Councilman Daigle?
I know I've been asking you planning questions for about 20 years, so hopefully I'll be able to call you in Laguna Beach if I have any more questions.
Well, the council knows, and the public may not know, but I will be available for the council members, for staff members, and for the new city attorney. If I can save anybody a couple hours or 45 minutes or 10 minutes of their time and directing them to where to go look for something, I'm always going to be available for that.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
Motion for reconsideration. A motion to reconsider the vote on any action taken by the City Council at either this meeting or the previous meeting may be made only by one of the council members who voted with the prevailing side.
Any motions for reconsideration? Okay, seeing none, we're adjourned.